Hey, what's up? I'm gonna try this again. Have you noticed? Because I didn't, there's some of these things I didn't notice. I have witnessed a lot of crazy throughout my life, but I never really had all the notes to back it up. Now having whatever gone in the direction that I ended up going in the pursuit of truth, I was in the pursuit of solutions and ended up places. Anyways, did you notice reality has changed? Because I didn't. There's one of these things I did notice. One of these things I did notice, but I didn't realize what it was at the time. So I'm gonna go over a list here real quick and then talk a little bit about some of them that are more personal to me. A list of things that have changed in our reality so far. Now, one thing I'm not fully sure yet, because I haven't gone into the physical version of some of these things, VHS, DVD, stuff like that, whatever, yet. Not yet. I've seen other people do it. I've seen evidence be shown, but I haven't done that myself yet, and I plan to. Specifically, anyways. Why was I saying? I know I was going to say something to that. Damn it. I always do that. I'm explaining something and then I forget what I was explaining, so that sucks. Sorry. So list, I'm gonna go over real quick about things that have changed in our reality, and we'll be told by the experts or whatever, the authority, the experts will be told by them that we're just remembering things wrong. No, we're not. Here's some things that I've come across that are different than what they used to be. Billy Joel, there's a lyric that Billy Joel sings. I'm not sure what song this is. A lyric is, "Play me a melody. Oh, son, play me a melody." And it's now, "Son, play me a memory." Well, that's something that has changed. Forrest Gump. Do you remember the box of chocolates line? Do you remember how it goes? Do you remember the box of chocolates line? Life is a box of chocolates. Now it's life was a box of chocolates, or it was like a box of chocolates. So now I remember what I was going to say. So I haven't gotten into the physical stuff yet to go check on it. Yeah, the only thing I've done so far is the Bible. But digitally, I can understand why this is all really easy to change and update and swap out, right? But it's nuts because they're not just updating things, they're making it seem like this has been going on for all of our existence. Either that or it actually has been changed. For example, there's some of these things that have been changed in real life, and what I would think of as real life that like, hi Matrix, I believed in you, but my goodness, all right, continue down the list. CDC used to be stand for Center of Disease Control. Center of Disease Control. Now it stands for Centers of Disease Control. The DEA used to be Drug Enforcement Agency, is now Drug Enforcement Administration. Smithsonian Institute is now Smithsonian, whatever that, Smithsonian, I think that's what it is. Institution. It's now institution, not institute. Snow White. Do you remember the mirror quote? Do you remember? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror on the wall. It's now magic mirror on the wall. Fruit Loops used to be spelled correctly. Fruit in Fruit Loops was spelled correctly. Now it's not. There's a Jewel song, a song by Jewel. I'm like, I forget the title of the song, but who will save your soul? As now, who will save your souls? And half the song, I was actually looking through the lyrics now because I loved Jewel. I loved Jewel. I wanted to finish my list, but I'm almost done anyways. I had listened to her album every day for like a year at least, if not 2 years. Like, I loved that album, that Pieces of You, I think. I loved that whole album, man. Pieces of You is actually my favorite song on that album too. Maybe it's just the song and not the album. No. Anyways, so yeah, no, it was not Who Will Save Your Souls. It was not Souls. It was Soul. Yeah. Starbucks used to be just Starbucks in the logo, and now it's Starbucks Coffee. And Home Depot is now the Home Depot instead of just Home Depot. A few of these I'm not familiar enough with to be like, wait a second. A couple of them that I'm sure about. Actually, a few, I guess. Yeah, so I'm not super familiar with the Starbucks thing. Like, never really cared. And Home Depot, like, I remember just calling it Home Depot as a kid, but I don't remember there not being a the. But I never really cared about Home Depot anyways. There might not have been. I don't remember because I didn't care about Home Depot. The things that really stick out to me is Snow White Mirror Mirror. I know that it was Mirror Mirror. I know that. I know. I'm not remembering wrong. I know that. Fruit Loops was one of my most favorite cereals. One of them. I had several favorites, but Fruit Loops was one of my top favorites. I love Fruit Loops, man. And I know that it was spelled correctly. I know that. The Jewel song, I mean, I'm 1,000% sure that it never said souls in it, but I can let that slide. Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. I know that it was is, not was. I know that. It's not a bad memory. So the thing that's interesting and crazy about this stuff is you can... I haven't done the testing on the movies yet. The only thing I've tested so far is the Bible scripture, which has been changed. And let me get I'll get some verses for you real quick. You can check them out. And there's a couple I didn't write down because whatever, I had looked them up, but I forgot the verse number. Anyways, Kings 2:23-5 I think was one of them. I have a few of these saved and I don't remember which scriptures they were. There's a Matthew 20 something and I didn't get the verse, so that sucks. Luke 19:27 and Hosea 4:6. I forget exactly what these were about specifically, but if you want to go look them up and see if they're what you remember them being or if they are different, feel free, you know. But specifically, they were discussing scriptures that have changed related to the Lion and the Lamb. And I remember the Lion and the Lamb stories. But my issue was, like, I did follow... I saw the evidence, too, that shows that these verses have changed in your old Bible. Not just digitally. Not just digitally. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's interesting. I think I'd probably be freaked out about this stuff if I hadn't already been down the rabbit hole. I think this stuff would have freaked me out. At first anyways, you know. Now I'm just like, what kind of a magic land am I in? I gotta figure out how to use my superpowers, you know. Anyways, I'm kidding. I wish. But I was looking through a few of those scriptures that they had mentioned were changed, and I watched them show the evidence of how, like, people referring to it as it used to be, and it's no longer like that anymore. So when there was a couple specifically, they were talking about the Lion and the Lamb, I looked it up and I was like, whoa, it really does say the wolf and the lamb now. It really does. But the reason I'm not fully, I can't confirm that myself in my own memory, is because I don't remember those specific verses that they're referring to. I can see the evidence, I can see what they're presenting and stuff, but I don't remember that myself because I didn't have those verses memorized. I have other favorite verses, but I did not have those as favorites. So I'm aware of the Lion of the Lamb stories and stuff, but I also remember stories of a wolf and the lamb as well. Like I do. I remember both. I know that the Lion and the Lamb is the big one, but I also remember stories of a wolf and a lamb. I don't remember if they were in the Bible itself or just other stories that I remember that were, children's stories or something. I don't know. Anyway, so you can check that out. But yeah, for me, the Fruit Loops was, I was like, no, I know that was spelled correctly. I know that. I know it was. Mirror, mirror on the wall. I know that it was mirror twice. I know that. The other one I forgot because I must have kept it on a separate list or something. Actually, there's a couple of them. The main thing that got me into this was a discussion about the change to the Mr. Rogers theme song. And how I came across these things was a few days ago. It might have been a couple days, I don't know. I had seen a tweet or something I was looking at, and it was just a funny one. It was that somebody had tweeted something like, "Isn't this crazy?" And they were referring to something, just, "Isn't this weird?" And it was just something funny, right? It was just something funny, and that I remember anyways. I mean, they might not have intended it to be funny, but I thought it was funny. And I was checking out the replies just for fun, and one of them said something like, "If you think that's weird, check this out," and it linked the video, and I was like, I saw the title of it, and I was like, it sounded interesting enough to give it a look, but I was like, and then I clicked on it just to check it out. I was curious, and then I got into this stuff. They're calling it the Mandela effect, which apparently has two different definitions now. I guess it depends. Whatever. I didn't go look up the actual definition. I've heard the two different explanations of what it is. One explanation of what the Mandela effect is that it's a group of people remembering things wrong, and the other explanation of what the Mandela effect actually is that things have actually been changed for real. So that's kind of funny to me. But that's just from what I've heard and looked through and watched and stuff. So I did not actually look up the definition of Mandela effect or whatever. Yeah, so it's very interesting stuff. Oh yeah, so the first thing that got me into this was they were discussing the Mr. Rogers theme song has been changed. It's no longer "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood." It's not that anymore, if you remember that, which I would imagine you do. But it's now "It's a Beautiful Morning in This Neighborhood." And the thing about all these changes is they're not just updates, right? They're not just, I'm feeling a sneeze, damn it. Okay, I must be allergic to insanity. Just kidding. Oh, I've had a sneeze kind of constantly ever since my shot. By the way, no, anyways, the thing about these changes is they're not just updates, right? They're not just like approved updates that people were making changes. The changes are history itself. We're supposed to, and not just supposed to believe that it's always been that way. We're just it's not different, like in the reality that we're supposed to accept is that it was always this way. Not that it's new, not that it's a new change, but that it's always been that way, always. Another one I just remembered. I don't know why this isn't on my list. I think because it was so easy to remember. But after I made this list, it got big, and then I guess I just forgot the stuff that I should have remembered. But another, oh, yeah, so I said the Mr. Rogers thing. Another change is Sex in the City. Sex in the City. Never was Sex in the City. Yes, it was. I know it was. Now it's Sex and the City, and it always was. There's looking through it, there's a lot of evidence you can see that the connections and the things related, the parodies and the stuff like that. It's related to, it's evidence proving that this was the way we remember it. It was the way we remember it, but somehow it's different now, as if we're remembering it wrong. But no, we're not remembering it wrong. One of my thoughts that I've had while thinking about this and looking at this stuff, and I'm like, I can't help but think if there are those of us in this same reality, shared reality that we're in, whatever, okay, whatever you want to think of it as or call it, okay, they've got to call it something. If there are some of us that remember that Sex and the City always was Sex and the City for sure, they know it in their own mind, they remember it, they know for sure, there's no doubt to them they had that. And then there's some of us on the other side, they're like, no, I know for a fact that it was in the city, not and the city. I know that. I know that for a fact. I don't know how this happened, but I know. I know that I'm not remembering this wrong. I know that. I can't help but wonder and give the idea for just fun's sake and to try to make sense of madness, you know, is that we actually are from alternate realities in one combined, and that's why we remember the same things differently, you know, because, you know, I know Fruit Loops was spelled correctly. I know that. I can still picture it. It's one of my favorite damn cereals, man. I love Fruit Loops, dude. I can't. I know. You know what? That's the thing too. I forgot. This is my third or fourth time trying to record this. I remember going to the store one day. This was a year or two, or maybe before we left California. Which was at this point, I think, a few years ago. I don't know. And I remember we were at the store, and I don't remember who pointed it out. Either I saw it or it was pointed out to me. But we were walking through the line, you know, just going through the aisle, the line, walking through the aisle of cereal foods and stuff. I mean, I probably picked something up, but I remember we saw the Fruit Loops spelled wrong. And it didn't register to me then. I was thinking about this later, and I was like, oh, dude, I remember that. I remember being at the store, seeing it spelled wrong, and laughing at it. And we made fun of it because we were like, wait, what happened here? Like, and I remember we both also, like, we were thinking, like, I'm pretty sure, I might have just been me, like, just saying it out loud, but I remember, like, thinking it was funny because I was thinking they're going to get sued because they're using the same logo. So the name was different, but it had the same mascot. And I thought that was hilarious. And I remember assuming it was an off-brand. I remember assuming that it was an off-brand because it was not spelled right. Apparently, it was always spelled wrong. No, it wasn't. I know that I'm not remembering that wrong. Like, I know that. The same thing with Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. Go look it up. If you remember the same way I do, look it up. See if you own that movie. If you own, go look. Please let me know. I don't own that. Oh, actually, we do own that movie. I don't remember if we kept it. I'll try to find that one. I was gonna try to find my Star Wars movies because there was also apparently stuff with Star Wars. One was C-3PO. There were changes to C-3PO, but they might have been changed back apparently because they're. I don't want to get into that. It's a little bit too much probably. Because it just requires a lot more to get into. Like, I mean, this is all stuff I should get it more into, but it's all too like the surface stuff is easy enough to look at and be like, wait, what? Right? Like, some Forrest Gump, Star Wars. Oh, the other thing with Star Wars, apparently, I don't know what they changed. I don't know what they changed because I didn't go research that part, but apparently they changed the Luke, I am your father line. Apparently that's not that line anymore, but I didn't go look that up to see what they changed about it. It was part of the discussion. I'm surprised I didn't hear it. It was a brief thing. They just mentioned it, right? There's so many things that get mentioned as they're just like, for example, the reason I came across all these things was just the Mr. Rogers thing, like because that was like almost an hour long, in-depth look at the changes and how you and the evidence, all the evidence that it was how we remember it, not how it's apparently the new version that has always been that way. No, it's crazy. Again, I think I can understand changing these things digitally, right? And that could be easy, but how would your physical version change? Crazy. Check it out. I remember I was telling my sister about one of these things, and currently I find it fascinating. I could, like I said, if I hadn't been down the rabbit hole, I'd probably be horrified, and this might have had the same effect. Maybe, I don't know. But I was telling my sister a couple of these things, and I remember she asked me a question. Something like, well, why would they do that? Why would these changes don't even make sense, right? Like, why would somebody do that? It's not like some super evil medieval, like, right? You wouldn't think that these are like, why would this happen, right? And I have my own thoughts, especially after hearing a lot of other thoughts and theories and stuff. And of course, it's all stuff we've heard before and whatever. It's interesting though. It's still, especially when you can see it and then really talk about it and be like, wait, this is real. I mean, like, look at what we're talking about, and like it's kind of funny. But no, she asked me like, why would they do that though? Like, why? And my immediate like reaction was like, you know what? Yeah, right. That's a good question. It's okay, because these are stupid changes. So it took me a couple minutes. I thought it was going to take me time. I thought it'd probably be like a week or maybe even a month to think about it, right? But no, a couple minutes later, so I came upstairs and I wasn't even giving it thought. Like, I was gonna come in, sit down, and have a drink and probably watch a show or something. I don't know. But then I thought of it. It just came to me, and I was like, oh yeah, And I had also heard of this for other things before, but it made sense to me here. And I went back down to her. I told her, I said, the reason, whoever it might be, Satan or just evil people in power, whatever, right? I don't know that part, because this is so much worse and crazier. Maybe not worse, but it is a whole lot crazier than that political insanity. This is a different level, man. This is a different level. Different plane. Like, what? But I told her the reason somebody would do this, maybe one reason, a reason, would be to make you think you're crazy, to make you not trust your own eyes, your own ears, your own memory. That would be why. That's a reason. I'm sure people could think of many different reasons. That one makes a lot of sense to me, though. Especially after what I went through. So, yeah, I really think I'm handling this stuff much better thanks to the previous insanity that I went through. So this is something fun in comparison. In comparison, can you imagine that? Like, this reality is literally changed for me, and I think it's fun in comparison to that shit. Yeah, man. It's pretty messed up, but at least this part is fun. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know, man. Let me know what you think. Please let me know what you think, and I'll appreciate any corrections, but do me a favor, please. Please do not just repeat what the experts are telling you, and it's just bad memory. No, it isn't. It's not. This is not bad memory. Okay? Not bad memory. Alright. I think this one came out the best so far, I guess. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Good luck. Bye-bye.